Red's bad. It means stop. Green means go. Red means stop. And so all Vigorous Steve had to do is say, I see red, stop. Coach Greg, in today's video, the road to 20,000 nanograms per deciliter. And that's his testosterone levels. And in case you're wondering, normal levels, anything up to perhaps 1,000. And so we got Chase Irons. And so his goal is similar to Mike Ezratal, except he doesn't need to be a professional bodybuilder. He wants to be an amazing personal trainer to make more money. He's been a personal trainer, but wasn't making enough money. And so now what does he want to do? Well, the same thing he's been doing for years, to be a YouTuber. This guy has made videos on Coach Greg in the past. Look him up from years ago. Oh my God, he sells an expensive cookbook. What a horrible guy. And so his dream essentially would be to be Coach Greg. Except the difference is, since that time, I stopped abusing performance-enhancing drugs and he increased his doses. And he's doing so with the advice and consent from none other than Vigorous Steve. And so many pills. Just look at what this guy goes through in a day, and this is just his pills. And so why is he taking all these pills? These are not anabolic steroids. This is not D-ball, Anavar, and so on. These are the pills he's taking to undo the negative side effects of taking steroids. But think of it, it's not gonna work. No matter how many pills, including my own blood work, which you can get, code Greg 15% off, even with this, it's not going to undo all the damages of using and abusing performance enhancing drugs.
Did he block you? What the hell?
And so apparently, I'm blocked from Chase Irons, probably from years ago, because I was selling an expensive cookbook. Way to go, Chase Irons. Remember back in the day when we both had under 10,000 followers? I remember it. And so Chase Irons gotten his blood work. What does everyone say? Go and get your blood work. Now, if you want to get your blood work done, I've partnered up with Transcend. They're going to get your blood work done. And if you need HRT, if you need peptides, they can prescribe them for you from a medical doctor. They're certainly not going to try to get you to 20,000 nanograms per deciliter. Never break the law and only use steroids, peptides, and so on with the advice and consent from a doctor. And I am not your doctor. And so if you're interested in getting your labs done and so on with Transcend, click the link in the description.
I do use 3 cc's a day right now. I do use tested Masteron. I do use 20 to 24 IUs of Serostim a day.
All right, and so he's using about 20 IUs of growth hormone a day and using 3 cc's of Masteron and testosterone. You think that blood work is someone going to verify that this is okay? Anyone that's taking this, it's way too much. There's no matter what you are, no matter who you are, even if your blood work checks out as being 100% normal, it's not. It's not good. It's not healthy.
I do use 3 cc's a day right now. I do use tested Masteron. 1.5 of each. Yeah.
Daily?
Every day.
Just in case you're not understanding that, he's using 1.5 cc's of test a day. So let's say it's test 250. That would be 375 milligrams of test a day times 7. That's over 2,000 milligrams per week. And Masteron usually comes at 200 milligrams per mil times 1.5. That's 300 milligrams times 7. That's 2,100. And so what we have is a guy using around 2,600 milligrams of testosterone, 2,100 milligrams of Masteron each and every week. That's more than I've ever used in my entire life. And that's just that. That's without counting the growth hormone and everything. And think of it, 20 IUs of GH. I've heard of guys using 10, some guys using a little bit more. It's absolutely ridiculous. I would never even dare use these things. And remember, if you need that much drugs to get big, you're not meant to get big.
Go get your blood work so you can see where everything's at. And there are plenty of ways to mitigate, the stresses that steroids do cause.
Mitigate doesn't mean to reverse all of them and be fine. Mitigate means to reduce slightly. And so in case your chances of death are at 99%, let's get it down to 90. We're mitigating its negative effects. Is that what you want? Do you want to slightly reduce your chance of dying, or do you want to just die younger than last time?
Getting blood work does not mean that it puts an end to your ability to keep growing, keep progressing, keep taking more gear.
And so if you're listening to this, you might be thinking, okay, if the blood work says, hey, this is bad, it's not looking good, your cholesterol's elevated, your blood pressure's up, the kidneys are stressed, hey, you don't have to stop your cycle. Just Add all these other pills, of which he's got like a 5-minute video of all the pills he's taking, and that's going to mitigate the effects. And so don't worry. I mean, let's say you had clubbed fingernails and you had varicose veins in your stomach, a protruding abdomen, and massive forehead. Oh, I'm not going to stop because I want my pro card. I'm not addicted. Really? You're not addicted?
Chase has something that not many people have. He's candid, always honest. He's always saying, hey, I'm showing you so you don't screw up.
And so we do need to give him credit for being able to be this transparent to say, look, I'm an idiot. I'm abusing my body. I'm probably going to die an early death, but I'm going to be open, honest, and transparent. He's not saying, hey, I'm natural. He's not the liver king. He's certainly not Mike O'Hearn or The Rock. But because he's this open, he's now open to criticism. The fact that we're applauding him for being honest is because we know that he's up for debate. Do you agree with Chase Iron doing what he's doing? Do you think it's bad for him? I think everyone knows it's bad, but he is in fact an adult. But because he's put himself out there, but because he's so honest, open, and transparent, that gives me or you the right to criticize him. Just like when I make a video about anything and I say, this is what I think, you can then say, Greg, you're an idiot. Why would you think this? This is what you should be thinking. Don't get in the comment section and say, he's an adult, he can make his own choices. I'm an adult and I can criticize him for making stupid choices. And so we know he's taken over 2,500 milligrams of test a week and 2,100 milligrams of Mastrone. But now on his next cycle, the road to 20,000 nanograms per deciliter and 5 grams of testosterone next cycle outline. This is reckless behavior. And you know what's funny, aka not funny, about him saying 3 cc's a day? Do you know who's famous for saying 3 cc's? Absolutely, it's Boston Lloyd. I knew his name, usually I don't, but I was checking. I wanted to say, did he know about Boston Lloyd? Boston Lloyd passed away. He was doing exactly what this guy's doing. He was in his 20s, a famous young man who got carried away with steroids, got reckless, and he died. But remember, Chase Irons, he wants the money. We know this. Oh, you're just putting words in his mouth.
Maybe it will take a couple years off at the end stage of life, but if it can help move, the needle on my career.
He went on to explain that he was a personal trainer, that personal trainers in his area, they began working at $12 an hour. After 3 months, $15. Later on, after years of hard work, $20 an hour. The guy was working 200 hours a month. 200. 4 weeks in a month on average, well, 4.3, but about 50 hours a week as a personal trainer, standing in front of someone one-on-one. He said, that is a hard life. Think of it. You're in the gym 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, one-on-one, telling people how to train, and for $20 an hour? Well, perhaps when he got older, when he was the best of the best, cream of the crop, was making $25 to $30 an hour. Is still not a lot. Certainly a lot less money than Coach Greg and Mike Israetel are making on YouTube. And so what did he decide to do? He decided to go all in. All in on YouTube and all in with the injections and the pills to get larger than life because after all, you guys, you love the freaks. How do I know that? You ever heard of a guy named Rich Piana? Rest in peace. You remember this guy? Does he not remind you of Chase Irons, only perhaps bigger? He would talk openly, being transparent about all the injections he was doing. The fact he was using steroids. Perhaps Chase Irons recognized that and he's fine to follow in his footsteps. And who else is doing this? Sam Sulek, although not as open and honest and as transparent with his performance-enhancing drug use, he does have a larger-than-life physique, and we know he's not natural, and he simply talks to the camera. Chase Iron, the same thing. And so now we're going to examine his blood work, the blood work of which Vigorous Steve examined to see, is this guy healthy or should he go more natty than last time? And so the first thing we're going to look at is the troponin. And so this is a protein that your heart cells release when you're dying. For example, when you have a heart attack. And so what were his results? 59, the max. 47. Oh, and I have 59. Notice how it's in the red. It means stop. Green means go. Red means stop. And so all Vigorous Steve had to do is say, I see red, stop. Is that so hard to get over? I'm not even a medical expert. I'm not a doctor. And I know red means stop. How many of you with me at home understand this? Green means go. Red means stop. If you get your blood work done and you have elevated troponin, it means to stop. Stop what you're doing. Stop abusing performance-enhancing drugs. But no, I know Let's mitigate the problems. It's probably from something else. Let's take this pill, that pill, those pills. I know, I'll get Coach Greg blood work. That'll fix it. And so, no, taking pills like this doesn't make you an ambulance driver. You can't drive straight through the stop sign. Oh, you can, but something might hit you and you're dead. And you're thinking, why don't you just message him in private? If you really cared about him, you'd message him in private. Let's say I do. Probably not going to listen. And even if he does, that's one person. How many of you are watching this right now? Thousands, 10,000, 100,000, a million? I'd rather help a million people than one. One's great. Million's better. And so when I make these videos, it's not because I care so much about that individual, not that I don't, but I care more about the collective group of society. I want everyone to understand there needs to be a paradigm shift in thinking. We need to stop glorifying the use of performance-enhancing drugs and get back to the old ways. Yeah, people will always abuse steroids, but we need to minimize it. We can't make it look cool, that it's not a big deal, and have younger, impressionable audiences be swayed by watching these videos. Next is cholesterol, HDL cholesterol. You know the good cholesterol? Guess what you see? It's in the red. It's 22. It's too low. You need to stop. Red means stop. Green means go. If you see a bunch of red, it's bad. Now, you might be looking at the rest of his cholesterol and you're thinking, well, that's in the green. Do you know why? Because he's taking a bunch of statins. It's causing his cholesterol to go down. And so that's him trying to mitigate the damages. Oh, I'm going to take a bunch of pills to artificially reduce all these horrible things happening in the body, and I'm in the clear. Well, it's not true. Just because some of these markers are in the normal doesn't mean that you're still healthy. Perhaps you're healthier than you would be without them, but it's still not good. Next, this guy's on 20 IUs of growth hormone and is insulin resistant. That's what you see when you get old and you're obese and you don't exercise. Insulin resistance is not good. If he were to stop taking steroids, stop taking growth hormone, and just exercise and be normal and be the personal trainer that he once was, I fully believe that he'd be healthy. But no, let's risk it all. All for the glory of having more muscles than last time. And so what was the score? It's 3.1. Anything above 2, that's the cutoff, is bad. 3.1, in case you're new to this and you want to learn some math, 3.1, it's greater than 2. AKA bad, AKA stop. Red means stop. Okay, and so here he is at 38 years of age, and clearly he's massive. He has a lot of muscle. He has a six-pack. He's very lean, perhaps single-digit body fat or close to it. But here's the thing. He would look way better, probably younger, if he stopped taking steroids. This is aging him, not just his exterior, but his inside, his heart, his liver, his kidneys, all getting older. It's kind of like the opposite of Brian Johnson. No, not the liver king, the man that wants to live forever, the guy that's trying to reverse aging. This is increasing it. And so as many years as Brian Johnson is saving, this guy, he's losing them. But remember, I've lived this life. I was on performance-enhancing drugs at abusive doses for 10 years. And so I get it. Chasing that massive physique, you get addicted to the dopamine, the thrill of getting stronger and larger than life every single week. You're getting bigger. Perhaps people are complimenting him at the gym. The bros are saying, yo, you work out, bro. And so when you hear bro 400 times, perhaps you go to the bar, sober, of course, because you're a bodybuilder, and people in the change room are like, oh my God, look at your biceps. Can I feel them? And so you get addicted to that. The girls, they don't care. They don't like it. They like you to be lean, short. They like an aesthetic physique. This is too much for most girls, but you're not doing it for the ladies. You're doing it for yourself. And the bros, of course. Don't forget the bros. And so I get it. It's hard to stop. Many other YouTubers, for example, Mikey Zertel, he's having a very hard time stopping. He wants to show the world that his coaching methods are better than others. And so please don't abuse performance-enhancing drugs. These doses are ridiculous. When you're making video titles chasing 20,000 nanograms per deciliter and so on, it's going to entice younger viewers to watch these videos, say, wow, what is he doing? And then when you say you're mitigating the damages by taking a bunch of pills, all you're doing is giving false confidence to people who are abusing steroids. They're thinking, oh, well, if he can do 5,000 milligrams of steroids, then, well, I'll just do 500. That's nothing. I mean, the guys who are really getting in trouble, they're doing 5,000. I only can do 500. Anything above and beyond what your doctor prescribed is an abusive dose. Don't forget, Transcend, Coach Greg, 15% off. Never, ever break the law and only use steroids and so on with the advice and consent from your own doctor. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you like it. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops. Join the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, I am out.